I'm Hannah. Thank you so much for coming to my channel where I talk all things costuming, cosplay, and live events. Today we are talking about Fan Expo Cleveland 2025. So this was my first year ever attending this convention. I've never gone to any of the fan expos. Definitely I've never done a convention in Cleveland before. So this is all kind of a new experience for me. We did go with the 501st Legion, so we were there to participate in the booth and help raise money for charity. So we were in there with expo passes. Which was already kind of a great thing. We just kind of made it a day trip. We don't live in the Cleveland area. We drove up to Cleveland and then drove back down afterwards. So it was a very long but good day. Now, this convention center itself was very different to most convention centers that I've been to. It kind of felt like we walked over a mile and like down several levels before we actually got to the expo floor. It was really nice inside. It like kind of reminded me of an airport. It was super nice, but it was odd, and it was like kind of underground, which was little different from my experiences at least. We were able to park in an underground lot just across the street from the convention center, and it ended up being $20, which really is not that bad. But once we got inside, we got our expo badges. We took our costumes to the 501st Legion booth to set them in our little changing area, say hi to our friends, and then I think we had about like an hour and a half maybe of like free time to just kind of wander the expo floor and see what was out before our time in costume. There were lots of great vendors, and honestly, it was packed for a Sunday. I've never seen a Sunday convention as crazy as this one. And talking to people who have gone to this convention for years in a row, they also said that there was higher attendance than usual. So I'm not really sure behind that reason, but it's great. It means the convention is doing well and people are enjoying the content. But due to the number of people there, that it was difficult walking through or around aisles in central areas, which is just kind of par for the course on a busy convention day. But again, since it was Sunday, we hadn't really been expecting that. This convention center has multiple little like grocery style stop, grab and go type things built into the convention center. So that was really great. However, by the time I went to buy something, there was like a massive line, and everything and like the drinks at least, like the shelves were like empty. So I wasn't able to get anything, but that's fine. I had brought my own water bottle and was able to get through the day just fine. Again, I liked this convention center. The restrooms were clean and there was plenty of signage directing you where to go. There were so many cosplayers out, and it was amazing to see all these different costumes and cosplayers. There was just like this really like joyous environment to the con. Like a lot of people were really happy to be there. Everybody was like complimenting each other's cosplays. I saw so many people like while we were out walking around, but then also people that came up to us while we were at our booth in our own Star Wars costumes. So it was just a really good culture, I would say. So some of our friends went a little crazy with their purchasing at this convention, but we tried to pace ourselves. Again, we were only wandering the floor for like an hour, so didn't have a ton of time. But we did stumble across a vendor who was selling exclusively Star Wars toys. So obviously we had to go look. And once we were inside, I found a little Mara Jade action figure in a nice protective case, and I ended up getting her since I am working on that costume currently. After that, we hustled back to our booth and got changed for our costuming shift. We spent about 2 hours in costume, kind of wandering around the convention a little bit, but also taking pictures with people, interacting with people. That's just kind of the best part of it, is interacting with people, especially when I'm in the Jawa and people get really excited. They're like, oh my gosh, there's Jawa. Can we take a picture? Absolutely. I'm always like, yes. Yeah, it was a really great time. We were in our costumes for about 2 hours. I got out of mine a little bit early because I was having an issue with my fan unit. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, I do have a fan inside my costume, specifically with pointing stuff at my face so I don't get overheated. My fan had an issue and I started to get really overheated, and I was like, I need to get out of this right now. And then I realized I also hadn't eaten enough like at all that day before I got into this costume for 2 hours. So that was also part of it. So I just got out of my costume early and just kind of sat at our table out of costume for the rest of that shift. And it just kind of happens sometimes, it's not great, but it is what it is. But overall, it was a really great convention and a really great trooping experience. I don't have the final number count, but I do know we were able to raise some money for St. Baldrick's. It's an organization that specifically researches childhood cancer. So when we make these appearances and it's for a good cause, it's just such a great feeling to bring joy to people, but also help support some local charities. And yeah, that brings me to the end of this video. We loved the convention. I hope that we will be able to attend next year just with our work schedules. It kind of popped up that we were able to go this year, and it was a great time. And I hope to come back next year, Cleveland. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, and if you like this content, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!